So from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! It's time!
Welcome to the 50-50 Football Podcast Show, the only podcast where we argue like we are at a chop by a restaurant or we are seated, in a monastery. Analyze like we went to UEFA coaching school and somehow with FIFA and Arsene Wenger at the very top, somehow arrive at the truth. Let's talk about what's been happening in this mad world of football. Arsenal have won the Premier League. Yes, Arsenal, the same Arsenal that has been sending their fans to therapy since 2004. 22 years of heartbreak, of we are building something special, of Wenger ball and Arteta plans, and almost they've done it. The Gunners are champions again, and now they want to go and beat PSG in the UCL Final 2. Calm down, Bukayo Saka, one trophy at a time, son. Cristiano Ronaldo, bless his 41-year-old. He is absolutely a genius, and he's built a superhero hat, finally winning the league title in Saudi Arabia. 3 years it took. 3. The man scored 129 goals, did shirtless celebrations in the desert heat, and waited patiently like he was in a queue at a government office. But he got there. Echoes across the Arabian Peninsula, and hopefully Thomas Tuchel will be hoping to celebrate like that. Well, reports dropping Cole Palmer, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Danny Welbeck, and others of the England squad. Some of these men found out through, various media handles. Brutal, cold, German efficiency is what he wants, but will he survive? No feelings, no warning, just gone. And Neymar, that guy, I don't know what is wrong with him. He was called up to the Brazil national team and immediately is injured. At this point, his hamstring has his own injury record with his own physio. Meanwhile, João Pedro is in the corner, boots ready, tied, and saying absolutely nothing, waiting for that window. Unai Emery winning his 5th Europa League title. 5th. This man and the Europa League are not just inseparable. Oh, it looks like they are spiritually bonded and they have couples. Arsenal fans. Oh, yes, Arsenal fans who sacked him after one bad year and the Chelsea final loss. They are somewhere quiet right now. Very, very quiet. Good evening, he says. And Tottenham versus West Ham. Who stays up? Spurs with 38 points, West Ham with 36. Just one more game. And men pace around the living room in their underwear. We don't judge. We are only waiting for Sunday. What on earth could happen to Southampton? Oh, Southampton. They were involved in a spying scandal involving one Tonda Eket. It was more like Kokusafu and myself, Nana Sari, writing the BEC and peeping through answers on the sheets.
Yeah.
Playoff plays.
The funny
And
thing
watching
is that
Middlesbrough get reinstated.
the funny thing is that it was an intern.
Yes. An
like
intern
James
doing
Bond.
that.
Overzealous
Charlie, you truly-
intern. Overzealous.
Charlie, you truly cannot write this. You cannot write this. And coming home, Lai Kensen, our own Lai, Ghana's own, he now stands in the Black Starlet's way as he leads Uganda in the Under-17 World Cup playoff. Football is poetic. Football is cruel. This is a man who was sacked and had to leave his job after, some very bad circumstances. Can he watch his motherland die again in their own eyes? To break all of this down and probably disagree with each other loudly, your host tonight, the man with a big brain, bigger takes, and we call him the man, yes, who has been our octopus, yes, the Oracle, Nana Sari Mangana, and the man who always has something to say about everything and almost on point with Jose Mourinho waiting in the background for him next week, Kwakusa Fudidi. Buckle it up. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Anta. I am the people's champion now because Arsenal are the winners. Let's get into it. Going loud, getting funny, and somebody will say something they'll regret. This is the 50-50 Football Podcast. Let's go.
People's champion.
People's champion.
The people's champ. The people's champ.
Who told you that people were rooting for you?
Oh, I was rooting for them. The Oracle was rooting for them.
The Oracle's champion.
This is the real prophet one.
I think
Oh,
we
guys.
really, first of all, we really need to congratulate a couple of people on the pod, like big aficionados on the pod. But the biggest congratulations goes to Kelvin Oswansan.
Thank you.
For 22 years, my brother has suffered.
Oh, Charlie. We're in the basic school.
We're in primary school.
Charlie.
We're in primary school.
Bukayo Saka was just 1.5 years old.
Oh my God. But yeah, I think you really need to, before we acknowledge all the individuals, Nanaya, your boy Dazi, Nanex, Nano Furious, Yedu Kuchitu. Kochi was never a believer. He was never a believer. Now he wants a shout out. But
after 2 years, it's difficult to still believe.
No, yes. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Mark Susu.
Yeah, Mark Flea. He has been atting me non-stop on Twitter.
Hey,
non-stop.
Charlie. And no, people like Brad can come they've been through a lot, right?
Exactly, sometime out to a chapel. Sometime I said something this way. I'm like, you people are the reason why people hate us.
I promise you.
Like, now Ateta is the headmaster. He's living with the kids. They should come for classes, special classes from Mikel Arteta. You should gather all the rest of the coaches as Pep leaves. I was like,
look at
Charlie.
See, I don't blame him. I was listening to him yesterday. He's like, now Pep is gone. So literally, like, open gate season. Yeah, I can tie that back to Manchester United and what I think they are doing wrong. But today is not a Man United day. We can discuss this later. But
today is Arsenal.
Yeah, it's all Arsenal. Congratulations to them. It's been a long time coming. Arteta has been at the helm for how many years now?
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years.
And a half.
On the back of
right.
On the back of back to back second place finishes.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been back to back second place finishes, and I'm happy. Honestly, I'm happy for him. I'm also happy Pep is leaving without a Premier League.
We had a major trophy.
Let's wait.
Between his legs.
You do, and this one will stay. You
should stay.
He won't stay. You go.
Yeah, man, want to know. Remember, his wife divorced him, and now the wife has given him a second chance.
The condition was you have
Tiam.
Exactly.
Tiam wanted. But Calvin, you really need to help us unpack, this victory. Maximum points you guys can make is 85 points, right?
Yeah.
Last year, you guys made about 79 or something of them, or something, right? And then this year, you're going to make 85. Again, I can pull out my agenda and start agending right now. But again, it's an Arsenal day. Congratulations to them. The Oracle called it. I was annoyed, especially after they gave the lead. They gave up the lead. You guys were 9 points up January. No, April 9th and by April 22nd, you guys had thrown it away and you were at par.
Yeah, they were level, and I think Man City had a better goal difference. So
exactly. And knowing City and knowing Pep how he finishes the league, I had no doubt in my mind that they were going to usurp Arsenal and win the trophy. But congratulations to Arsenal again. And Kelvin, no one can analyze and unpack this victory better than you. Let's go from match day 1 to match day 37, where we are now. How did you guys do it?
Make sure to include the referee decisions as well.
I think yes, officiating decisions. Some have gone against Arsenal, some have gone against other clubs. So I think yes, that one you can't really make a lot out of it. Yes, you may have your own list, but I think this is really a journey of patience and resilience, especially for Mikel Arteta. I was thinking, how was he going to feel? After thinking that he had a project that was going to last 5.5 years to win a trophy, and last season he missed out on it. Continued this season. I think what worked for Arsenal was, the squad depth. It was always coming that they needed, mentalities, players with that strong edge, who are winners or who have that, resilience and didn't care about so much, to win. And the signing of a player like, Hincapié, Arsenal needed warriors, I think. And Hincapié coming in, Ricardo Calafiori with that, Italian mentality of not giving up. They signed Eberechi as a free-spirited gentleman. And as much as I think he could have done more, better this season. And Victor Gyökeres, the lead marksman, that sort of mentality Andrea Beta came in with. And that was, something that Arsenal really needed, to take a step further. And I think that we may talk about the likes of Bukayo Saka and the rest, but these 5 players, I think have been very, very critical and important for Arsenal this season. Talk about the moment Hincapie came in. I think he's died, every single minute. He's virtually worn his heart on his sleeve for Arsenal, putting in that effort and everything. You talk about Ricardo Calafiori in moments where you doubted, things to happen. He just, stood up. Christian Nogard, Arteta gives him lots of praise. He thinks that he's not a player who has played so much, but he's been very important for the team. And, someone who had been a captain of one of the, very good mid-table Premier League sides, you wouldn't expect him to give less. And for Gyökeres, we may still think that he did not provide enough, but for his presence up front, in the absence of Merino, in the absence of Gabriel Jesus, in the absence of Kai Havertz, his goals and his physical presence up front cannot be discounted. And I think that those were, critical moments and consistency. I've always said it. If you continuously lose players, things don't work for you. And Arsenal managed to keep most of their top quality guys, especially William Saliba's partnership with Gabriel, preventing Saliba from making a move to Real Madrid. That was very, very much important and instrumental for them. Bringing Jurien Timber, making sure they brought David Raya for 3 seasons, consistently making, that effort to become the top goalkeeper in the Premier League. Make sure that someone like Declan Rice was brought with a winning mentality and captain from that is West Ham United, and it's virtually worked. And if you look at the Arsenal team, all that they needed, was players who had that winning mentality. And if you look through from defense, through midfield to attack, they had, some winners from different leagues with different mentality. Timber in midfield, you had Rice, you had Bereche Eze coming in up front, you had that big man himself, even Noni Madueke from Chelsea, with that mentality to come prove a point. So I think, it's worked, and Arsenal are reaping dividends of the sacrifices made by Arsene Wenger. You look back at from 2006 to 2017, Arsenal could not battle it financially, with the other clubs, Manchester United, Pep Guardiola, and then Manchester City coming in, Liverpool starting to spend after they started making profit, Chelsea continuously spending, and other clubs. Arsenal actually struggled. They had to do with what they had. And I think that many are talking about Mikel Arteta spending over £540 million across, averagely across his 6 years. And nobody can tell me money doesn't count. When Sir Alex Ferguson was winning the Premier League, he had money to buy the players he wanted, including ripping Arsenal off Robert Van Persie. Pep Guardiola came.
Kelvin, when it comes to money, I think the biggest example is Pep Guardiola. Use that 115 charges.
Exactly. I am coming. I am coming to that. Pep got all he wants. Manchester City ripped off Arsenal. Of their best players. At a point, Chelsea taking Arsenal's players to win and all of that. So I think it's all sunk in. Arsenal just needed that one moment and positivity to get over the line, and the crucial spending to get, the biggest players with, very good mentality and big mentality just paid off for the club. And I think, it's been massive. Hopefully, Arteta's journey would be crowned with, the UEFA Champions League, which will be a massive boost. We know we are going to talk about it in our next episode, but this is actually good enough for them for the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, and I think honestly, for me, the key thing was the main objective for them was to win the league. They didn't care how they won it; they just wanted to win. So a lot of things changed, especially how you guys played. You weren't as expansive as you were. You weren't as exciting. Someone made a comment yesterday, and I think it stuck with me. The person said, "Arsenal are perhaps the team in recent times to win the Premier League without an exciting team." I don't know if it sounds well or if this landed well, but Arsenal weren't exciting yet they won, or they don't have the most exciting players in the team or in the league, but yet they won the league. So the person made reference to Leicester City and said for Leicester City, Riyad Mahrez was always exciting, right? He was always exciting, and he was in the team of the season. But for us now, if you think about the players to be in the team of the season, it would be defenders, and you can make consideration for one midfielder, that would be Declan Rice. But other than that, for the attacking and offensive players, none of them would make it into the team of the season. And I'm like, you know what? They achieved the objective. They did achieve the objective. first Premier League title in 22 years, and they made it happen. They realized, listen, we want to score goals. How can we score goals aside playing beautiful football? We would force the corners through, right? And Mangana said it. The refereeing decisions went for them, and you need, that luck as well, or you need that, how do I put it? That bias to also be on your side sometimes when they're going to win trophies, right? So congratulations to Arsenal. They've been the best team on the land. People might argue differently and say, like someone like John Mikel will be, he said Arsenal won't be worthy winners because they scored through corners. John, respect yourself, please.
At the end of the day, they are not going to put an asterisk next to the trophy or say unworthy winners.
At all.
It is winners. And after
Exactly.
after 5-6 years, nobody's going to remember if Arsenal took corners to win the league or not. It's a trophy that they have in their cabinet. So however they won it, they won it. When it is your time, when you have the opportunity to win it, you should, because you have no, you don't know what the next season might hold.
Right.
And just as you said earlier, yes, they may not have been the most exciting team. Next season, other teams will be better. The challenges will be different. Arsenal themselves will be different. So once you have the opportunity to win it, you win it. However you go about it, just win it. Because when you win it, it fosters more winning. And the fact that they've got this one over the line, now there will be a force to reckon with going into the season, because they will feel like, okay, we've won it before, we can do it again.
I agree.
But now they are moving from the hunters to become the hunted. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah, people are
how they'll take that challenge on
them. My worry is that the other big teams are not serious. They are not serious, and we can get into that briefly about why the other teams are not serious.
Why do you think? Why do you think? Just quickly.
Oh, honestly, if you are Man United and Antonio Conte is the manager for Napoli, or I think he actually resigned.
He's decided to move on.
And
but that guy, Conte, is he ever satisfied? Is he ever satisfied?
Me, I don't care about the satisfaction. The fact that he can get me a league title in 2 years, I'm happy with that too. Come and do your 2 years and go. I don't need you for 6 years or 7 years or 8 years. The most successful club is Real Madrid. How many managers have lasted 3 years at Real Madrid? Ancelotti didn't even last past 3 years. Vicente Del Bosque, what didn't he win at Real Madrid? But what did they do to him? So I really don't care. I'm not fixated on, long term. Masa, there be anyhow. See, we can all die tomorrow. So win now and stop this long-termism and this romanticism of long-term. See, we are not going to get any other Sir Alex Ferguson. He's gone. As in Wenger is gone. Even Arteta, do you think he'll stay for 10 years? Go. Maybe. He will go one day. But he won't be there for 26 years like the coaches of yesteryears, right? So if a coach comes in and wins, that's it. Right? Look for the next big thing. It doesn't sit well with me that Antonio Conte is available and Man United are on the verge of signing Michael Carrick. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me at all. Right?
But one thing,
go on.
Yes, I think you should consider is that they may not have looked at Antonio Conte, and Antonio Conte's resignation from Napoli may have nothing to do with whether he wants to be available for another job, or he has spoken with other people that he wants to go into a job that he wants.
You make a good point. Can I add something to that?
Yeah, clearly there was no links between him and United prior.
And that's problematic. That alone is problematic.
Yeah, but
Mangana, hear me out here. Let me add something.
He was going to. He was looking to leave Napoli at the time.
It doesn't matter whether or not he's looking to leave. If you're a big club, act like a big club. Mourinho had a job at Benfica. Real Madrid decided they wanted him. Now they are going up for their man. It's simple. Act like a big club. Who told you Arteta didn't have a job? Arteta had a job at us now.
They don't want him.
So that's what I'm saying. That alone is also problematic. Because if Antonio Conte is available, or let's say he coaches Napoli, why should Napoli as a club have a better manager than Man United? I don't understand. It doesn't sit well with me that Napoli as a club would have a better manager by all standards and categories than Man United. It shouldn't be the case. If you're a big club, act like a big club. Go for the best. No matramakwe. Go for the best. And listen, I'm very happy and I respect Carrick for what he's done. But I don't think for the long term, or I don't think that if we want to appoint a substantive manager and Antonio Conte is available, we should overlook him and sign Michael Carrick. And mind you, Antonio Conte is not even my cup of tea. I'm not even a big fan, but I know he will win. I know regardless he will win. He will find a way, he will fight, he will huff, he will puff, he will find a way to win. And that's all that matters to me. I want my club to return to winning ways. Arsenal wanted to win the league. They decided, listen, we've played beautiful football. It's enough. Let's go for the trophy. We don't care. Let's just go for the trophy. No matter how we want to do it, let's just do it. And they went for it and they won. They stifled a lot of the attacking players. And they didn't care about it. They didn't care about the number of goals Jokers was scoring. They didn't care the number of goals the attacking players were scoring. If it's 1-0, 1-0 equals 3 points. We don't care.
Yeah. But one thing you are forgetting is Arteta was not like a world-class manager, and there were also other world-class managers, and you can say Arsenal.
And that is why it took them 6 years. And that's why it took them 6 years. I'm tired of waiting. Antonio Conte, there's a possibility of winning the league in 2 years. With Antonio Conte. No, I'm serious. And that's why I'm saying I hate the romanticism of, or the romanticizing of, long term, long. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear that project matter safe. I don't want project. We are digressing. It's Arsenal's day. Congratulations to Arsenal. I think the most decisive player for Arsenal this season, or the most decisive players, have been David Raya. I think David Raya, Julian Timber, and Gabriel. I think they've been the most decisive players for Arsenal. The most decisive players for Arsenal. And if I should pick a standout, initially I was leaning towards Julian Timber, but he's been injured for quite some time now.
In the running, he's been missing.
Yeah, he's been missing. I think it has to be Raya. Raya has been ever present and he's been outstanding from day one, from match week 1 to match 37. I don't know what you guys think.
Raya and Gabriel have definitely been stand-up performers. And like Arsenal's whole winning of the league has been a group effort, right? Because if you look at, especially when you look at defense, the number of clean sheets Raya has kept has as much to do with how good the defense has been, as well as how good Raya has been to save the ones that get past the defense. The same thing works for the defenders as well. But one other player that may not have created too many moments, may not necessarily be polarizing in terms of how they affect the game. But the consistency of Declan Rice constantly just being there, putting out performances at his level, like what we'll call a steady Eddie. Like, you know that you are going to get this out of Declan Rice. You don't have to worry about him. His presence and him being there, not injured, playing consistently, has been the anchor for that midfield that they definitely needed. Even when Zubimendi went in the lows where he wasn't defending properly and was conceding goals, and then he would get a rise, score a couple of goals. Declan Rice was always consistent. So I think him being in there consistently and having that back four that was also so solid, knowing that defense is set with those kind of players, makes it easier to play.
You just want to poke the bear. I won't mind you. I won't mind you. When the devil irritates you, don't mind them.
Look, it gives you. There's something to be said for chemistry when people have played together for so long, and you could see it in the iterations of teams that have won the league. You always will see that they had a centre back partnership that was clear. You knew who their back line were. You knew who their anchor in the midfield was. You knew who their striker was. Like, the spine of the team was always consistent, and Arsenal had that season. So kudos to them. All the players contributed. Even you would have expected players like Saka or Odegaard and ones to have been the ones that should have done more, but literally they did far less than the defenders and Rice in midfield, as well as David Raya. So, I mean, they have held the team all throughout, and it's been an incredible journey for them coming through to winning the league, and they just have to find the energy to go again next season.
Well, finding the energy to go next season, we have a lot to talk about there.
But still, Kelvin, honorable mentions.
Yes.
Honorable mentions. You know, Arsenal fans, I know we mentioned a couple already, but again, you know, congratulations to Mark Susu, congratulations to Nanaya Oyebo Adazi, engineer. Congratulations to you. Nano Fourier Siedu. Congratulations to you guys. Anderson, congratulations, Anderson Zega. Congratulations. Like the names, I'm blanking out, but
you cannot mention all. But I know.
If I missed your name, I'm so sorry.
Tuaniela Alote, my own.
You mentioned the women Arsenal fans. Charlie, the women of those ones all make my stories all make flooded.
They are fair weather fans, Rolf. They're female Arsenal fans. They were all hiding, now they're out.
Lawyer Weafin was consistent.
She's been there. She's been through the trenches.
She's been through the trenches.
Exactly.
She's been through the trenches.
Yeah. So I need to give it to a lot more. Coach Ebenezer Sifa, Coach Ibrahim Tanko, Abdul Faisal Chipsa, Yusuf Alasan Chipsa, all these guys phenomenal. Imanote, yes, Esquire, Hilary Boateng and Ajwa, DCOP Lydia Donko.
Yes, she's an Arsenal fan as well.
Yes, very, very tough, very, very tough Arsenal fan.
Sam George.
Yeah, some George. Yeah, I nearly missed out on him. Gabby,
Prime Minister.
Also, yes, Prime Minister. Yes. Prime Minister. Guy. Yes, he just mentioned. I think he did mention Saboziga.
Yes.
Yes, and Mickey Charles.
No, Kwabena Boy is Man United. It's his son.
No, Kwabena Boy is
It's his son, and I remember he used to mention his son, and
exactly.
Sports Highlights.
Yes, exactly. He's an Arsenal
legendary show.
A lot of people in there. But I think that there is one guy that I'm sure many of you know, Nana Kofi, the Asante Kotoko fan, who was brutally murdered, and his friend is now being trialed in court for murder. He was a very staunch Arsenal fan, an integral part. Yes, Nana Kofi.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, we wanted to live this day with him, but quite unfortunate. He's there. Wherever he is, I'm sure he's smiling and happy. When we meet at the Good Park on Sunday, we'll make sure that at least we observe that minute silence to celebrate him for his good works and his dedication to us.
One more shout out to my Nigerian friend Taiwo. Taiwo has a nephew, and fun fact, Taiwo's nephew was 21 years, and he's celebrating his first league title as an Arsenal fan. So Arsenal have been 22 years without a trophy. The boy is 21 years and they are celebrating the title now. So I'm happy for him. First opportunity in his lifetime to call his team or to call himself a champion of England. So congratulations to him as well. Taiwo in Canada, your nephew, I blanked out on the name. I'm not sure if we talked about it, but congratulations. Taiwo's a big aficionado of our show. Big fan. She texted me middle of the week. She was like, Kweku, Arsenal have finally won. This weekend's episode has to be massive. I'm like, listen, we are cooking something special for you. So big congratulations to him as well.
Well, big congratulations to everybody. But I think that with this one, I'll just leave it for you, Kweku, and then Asari. Yeah, using just 3 minutes for this. 1.5 for Kweku, 1.5 for you. Asari, Ronaldo finally makes it in Saudi.
It's been a long time.
He's so far. But no, congratulations to CR7. Congratulations to Ronaldo. He's shown once again that he's a winner. 41 years, conquering Saudi. I think he's won the Golden Boot on 3 consecutive. 3 consecutive times, right? And that's incredible. People will think, it's an easy league. That league had Benzema in it. Benzema couldn't win. That league has Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney couldn't win. So there are younger players who've gone to play in that league and they couldn't win. Neymar went there, it didn't work out for him, right? John Duran went there, he couldn't win. He's now, moving around Europe club to club. Yeah. He's played for like 3 clubs in one season, right? So, congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo, 41 years, still firing, still wants to win. And I wish him all the very best this summer in North America. I will be rooting for him. In fact, I plan to actually go in person to support him to win, to lift the World Cup title at age 41 and a couple of months.
Baby Zero.
Sorry. Quick one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, congratulations to Zero. He's done well. To be able to still be playing at this age and winning a title is not easy. Winning the Golden Boots every single season and not winning the title must have been frustrating, but kudos to him. I mean, there's nothing else that he can do. He's done everything that he can in football. And the only thing he has left is to be able to perform at the World Cup and then win the trophy. If it comes to pass, he will definitely need one man, and one man can get him that trophy.
So you see, that's a nice segue to the Portugal squad. Yes. Roberto Martinez, no, I can't be good for Medion.
Next week we are going to do that a lot more. It's just going to be that. It's just going to be that and then the Champions League. So
let's do that next week. Yeah, because 4 right backs and 4 goalkeepers. He needs to explain. I'm not sure who the technical director in Portugal is. But that guy before this list comes out, it has to go through a process. People need to sign off on this. I'm not sure how he convinced them to leave people like Mateus Fernandes and Joao Palhinha out and go with four right
why
backs
you send
and
four goalkeepers, 4
goalkeepers.
right backs?
I will have a conversation.
It's suicidal.
I needed that Mateus Fernandes not to go to the World Cup because that World Cup tax would have been very high.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's wait. They still have an opportunity to make changes and owe it to injury. So let's wait and see if those changes will come back. Tuchel is also chopping. He's chopping and changing. But I think that it will be so unfair for Maguire not to go to the World Cup. If any other person is not going, it shouldn't be Harry Maguire, sincerely.
But he's already put out a statement that essentially says he's been contacted and informed he's not going.
Yeah. And I think it's you know.
Why
would you think he would drop Harry Maguire?
Because he doesn't fancy him. It's that simple. He doesn't fancy him. The last set of friendlies that they played him at Wembley, right? So I think they played. Was it Chile? They played Chile. And one more team, I don't remember. So they played 2 friendly matches, one against a South American club and one against a South American nation, one against a European nation. And, Maguire was finally called and he made comments. And Maguire played well in those friendlies. But essentially he said, listen, Maguire still needs to do a lot of work. He wanted to observe Maguire. And he mentioned people like Ezri Konsa, he mentioned McGahey, he mentioned John Stones, Dan Ben, all ahead of Maguire. So it tells you the coach's thinking and how he perceives things, right? He just doesn't fancy Maguire. I don't think he fancies Maguire. And it's been clear from day one. The writings have been on the wall. So it doesn't come as a big shock or surprise to me at all. And Thomas Tuchel is like that. He's very set in his ways, and he's had a lot of issues, as a club manager with the directors because of these things. He won't compromise. That's him. He just won't compromise. What he wants, and that's it. If he doesn't fancy you, he doesn't fancy you, and it's obvious. I think amongst the big names we've seen who've been allegedly left out of the squad, I think the one I'm most excited about, I think Mangana will agree with me, is Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw is only fit when there's a major tournament coming up. Today you sit at home.
It annoys me so much. And
he needs to play a full season.
The most annoying one. Oh, and funny enough, this season he's played every single minute for Man United.
Because the tournament was upcoming.
And funny thing, the previous Euros, this guy was injured the whole season. 3 months to the Euros, he started training so well. He got fit, and then Gareth Southgate took him to the Euros. I think he was trying
and he got injured.
So I'm very happy. I'm happy. I'm happy he's not going. I think other people deserve to be there. Maguire's own is quite inexplicable because when you look at his profile and the sort of form he's been in for Man United, you think that he could play a role for the club. But I think the man also sees Dan Ben as the type of player who could play that role. If I want like a big mountain in defense, I can have Dan Ben be a big mountain in defense, who's also more mobile. He's also a specialist left-footed who can also play left back if I want to. If I want to go like a 3-back, he can be on the left-hand side for me. And I think he really fancies John Stones as well. If he wants to go 3-back, he'll try to keep John Stones there. And then he has McGahey, who also is a specialist left-footer, like left-sided centre-back.
I also think, like you said, aside him not fancying Maguire, I think Maguire is that kind of player and personality. If he takes him along, he can't take him along and then ask him to be fit centre back. You get it. If he's going, you are going to play him.
There's going to be a lot of noise.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be a lot of noise, which might upset the camp, and he doesn't want to have that. So if he's not going to play him, then he might as well not take him.
I see. I think I like that line of reasoning as well.
Yeah,
one other player
sense.
I think is missing and it's quite confusing is I think Danny Welbeck has had a good season. But then again,
I think he should have gone ahead of Tony.
But he hasn't been called up at all. Has he been called up?
Yeah, he's not in the coach's frame of mind at all. Not in his plans at all. So but then again, someone would say, well, Calvert-Lewin would also serve that purpose, right?
Yeah.
But Welbeck has the experience.
But would he even make it? Calvert-Lewin.
I think
he could. He's one of the players who could miss easily.
True.
Yeah,
True.
because he. I know. It's but if he misses, he doesn't mind because he trusts Harry Kane to just get him, and then Oli Watkins comes from the bench and he'll be thinking the likes of Bukayo Saka, Morgan Rogers, and other scoring midfielders or forwards, as we deem them, would give him the result.
And I mean, with England's squads that we've seen over the years and the tournaments they played, Harry Kane ends up playing all the minutes. So if you are, let's say, third backup striker, you probably won't get a kick. So it's difficult unless Harry Kane gets injured. If you're taking two strikers and a third striker who probably will never get a kick, I don't see why you would take someone who feels like they should be playing or whose performances or in training would suggest that they should be playing ahead of someone, and then you are not playing them, which could put the players in the mood. Because in as much as you want to pick your best players or your most the players in the best form, you're also thinking about the chemistry within the camp. And that unity within the camp, if it is disturbed, can derail the performances on the pitch. So in as much as the performances of the players and the quality of the players is important, the balance between that and players that can actually gel and players that actually would understand that these are the first team players, we are the backups, we are the ones who probably will not get a kick at the end of the whole tournament. We are just there to make sure that, if somebody gets injured or something, we can come in, but we are there to just train with them and keep them taking over throughout the whole tournament. Like, having that understanding is very important, because there's no way any striker who, like, let's say a striker who has scored about 20 goals and it's an English striker and decides that, okay, we are taking you with Harry Kane. You feel like, okay, I've done enough this season to be playing. Why is Harry Kane playing all the minutes, even if Harry Kane is scoring? But you have to understand that Harry Kane is the number one striker. It doesn't matter whether he's not scoring or not. What he will get, what the coach feels and what they feel he gives them will be more than what they think you can give them. You'll be brought on as an impact player. So if you can't understand that is your role, it becomes very, very difficult and it becomes attritional within the camp. And then that's when you start to see cliques and infighting. And that was a feature of a lot of the England's camps under Sven-Göran Eriksson, where they could tell you that some certain players from certain clubs didn't gel with other players from other clubs. Yeah. So all of that is very important.
All right, very much important. Now, just a minute on Neymar. He's been called up injured again. Do you think it's worth keeping this guy in the Brazil team for the World Cup?
Oh, Neymar, he's been called to appease the fans. They want to unite the nation to rally behind the team. That's it. I think that's it. They just want to rally the entire nation to support the team. That's it.
And it's a World Cup. It's a World Cup for them where they are playing in a country where they have a lot of support. So you wouldn't want to upset them.
Oh, yeah. Like, a lot of things go in the favor of Brazil in terms of weather, in terms of proximity to the country. So they'll have the fans all over. I expect them to be a sea of yellow and green in Philadelphia, where they're going to play against Haiti. Yeah. I think
and casual fans also love Brazil.
Of course. Abuaje like this, Abuaje is a big Brazil fan. He knows more about Brazil than he even knows about Ghana. So that tells you the sort of following Brazilians, Brazil as a national, the Seleção have, right? And if Brazil, the World Cup means everything to them. They've been chasing the fifth title for 24 years now. Let's not forget, before this recent run of barrenness, Brazil won the 1994 World Cup. Of course, Baggio's penalty miss, which, handed the trophy to Dunga as the captain to win it. In 98, they were again in the final. In 98, coached by Carlos Alberto Pereira. And in the final, they lost Ronaldo, killed their motivation. They lost 3-0 to a Zidane-inspired France. In 2002, they were back. They beat Germany, the hosts Germany 2-0 to win the to win the World Cup. Countless goals by Luis Ronaldo, Nazario de Lima. I think Germany hadn't conceded a goal, they had with some weird statistic like that.
Yeah, I think Oliver Kahn was saying he wouldn't concede for against Brazil or something like that, and Ronaldo was like,
and unfortunately, his
his
mistake led to the first goal when he couldn't. He parried Rivaldo's strike, and then Ronaldo tapped in from close range. But then in 2006, they came in with all the stars Kaká had. Kaká was amazing for AC Milan. They had Ronaldinho, who was Ballon d'Or at the time. They had Ronaldo and Adriano. Adriano was unstoppable at the time, leading the attack. In midfield, they had Zé Roberto playing with Juninho Pernambucano at the time. Yeah. In defense, they had Lucio. Dida was imposed. Cafu was playing in his final World Cup. Roberto Carlos playing in his final World Cup, marshalling the defense together with with Lucio, and unfortunately they crashed out to eventual finalists who also lost. they crashed out to France, and I always see France Brazil as a very tough encounter, especially for the Brazilians. And I say all this to say that Brazil have consistently done well, especially from 94 coming down, right? But unfortunately, the 2014 debacle, and they went on to 2018. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it there. 2022, they thought they had done it, especially against Croatia, and inexplicably they threw it all away. And now they are going into the World Cup with perhaps the least inspiring team they've had in a while. I think even the 2010 team was more inspiring than this one, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think you see, it seems like it's been happening over time. Like the quality of the Brazil team, or in terms of like the Brazil we've known, has gradually been going down in terms of how many Mavericks that they have within the team.
I know you guys are itching to talk about this.
2010.
We'll do that next week. Let me hold you all here, and let's talk about harder matters. Next week would give us a great opportunity to delve into the big sites and then their squads and what could happen at the World Cup. But Emery and Europa League have more chemistry than most married couples.
Except when he's coaching us now.
Yes, and Arsenal let him go like he was a free trial subscription. That's an incredible journey. Five Europa League titles. I think Emery is simply different, and with 3 different clubs, Aston Villa, Valencia, and then also Sevilla. I think he's done absolutely well. Now England gets a 6th UCL slot for 2026-2027, which Bournemouth and then Brighton could fight for, but I think that Bournemouth stand a better chance. All they need is a draw to stay there and then get into Europe. The big question, do you think that Arsenal were a bit impatient with him?
Oh no, you guys just won the Premier League. It justifies what you guys did 6 years ago.
And in as much as he was a very good manager, there are certain managers who don't mix with certain clubs. When he went to PSG, it was the same thing. Like, he lost. What they were expecting from him at PSG, considering his profile, he wasn't able to deliver it for PSG. So he seems to be that kind of manager that is like second-tier club. Like, they have the topmost clubs, the glamorous clubs, and then those that are always, challenging for to get into the Champions League. He seems he seems to thrive in those clubs where they are like always close enough to be in and out. They'll come into the Champions League and they'll go out, but then you always get to win the Europa League with them because he has a squad that is above average.
Yeah, and
then their expectations too are always above average, not expectations where they feel like they want to win the league. So I think that's his niche, and he should stick within that circle, and he's going to have a fantastic career. Because, they should actually give him a replica of the trophy because he's won it too many times.
Yeah. That's his level. And I think, the number of times he's won it just explains it. That's his level.
Yeah.
And, I've always said that about managers like him, managers like David Moyes.
Yeah. Really, and the relegation experts.
Yeah, that's their level. Like, they should be there. Once you try to put them in a different environment, it becomes problematic. And you rightly mentioned the PSG move. Arsenal wanted more, and it just couldn't happen for him, right? So I think he's in the right environment for himself. He should stay there, make a name. Hopefully they build a statue for him one day.
Well, I think that works. When he was at Arsenal, you can't lose 3-0 in the final to Olivier Giroud and the likes like that. That was terrible.
You're talking about a player who has his own Puskás collection.
Yeah, I know, but at that point, Arsenal gave him away, and he allowed.
I think they should even rename the Puskás and name it the Olivier Giroud Award because he has too many of those goals. Too many.
Well, it's going to be a big one this weekend. Who gets relegated from the Premier League? Spurs are 17th, 38 points. West Ham 18th, 36 points. Spurs host Everton. West Ham hosts Leeds United. Both sides are playing at home. Guys, which is the harder game, and which side do you think goes down?
The Leeds United game is the harder game.
I think it's the easiest of them all.
West Ham against Leeds?
Leeds are safe.
Yeah.
Yes, Leeds are very safe.
Everton.
Everton are also safe.
Everton are safe, however.
But they want Europe.
Exactly. Like, if you look at the standings now, can they make Europe? Yeah, potential.
Everton's chance of making Europe is the slimmest possible. Like, the number of things that have to happen for them to get in, I don't think will happen.
I mean, they'll still give themselves a shot, right? They'll still give themselves a shot.
They'll have to get 52, and for Chelsea
to lose by 7 goals or what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But let's not forget,
it's the Premier League.
It's not going to happen.
But I think the monetary gains in the Premier League with regards to where you place to is also a big boost for teams. They look at that because any extra million or any extra $500,000 could be doing or could be sealing a purchase for you. Because if Burnley, who have been relegated, are going to earn more than Barcelona, who have won the La Liga. Exactly. I think,
the money does a lot, but I think that one motivates the hierarchy of the club more than it motivates the players. The players, it's either they're going to get into Europe, if they're not going to get into to play Europe, there really isn't a lot of motivation.
But you cannot tell me your board chair will not be interested in telling his players.
Yeah, your board chair
get into Europe, and then I can give you a bonus for this. Arsenal and the team are taking bonus.
Unless Everton are not going to tell them that get you, I'll pay you a bonus.
Well, let's see. Because now Bournemouth is getting into Europe. It means that Brighton.
Yeah, but I think Aston Villa has to be fit for that to happen. No, Bournemouth is close, but I think for the
Aston Villa has to be fit.
Yeah,
Aston Villa has to be fit for that to happen.
I think Bournemouth can still get into Europe. I'm talking about. You see, they were saying there's a possibility to get 9 teams in Europe, but for the 9 teams to get into Europe, Aston Villa has to be fit.
Yes, they have to be fit. So that could be a possibility because Liverpool would explore trying to get into 4th.
And Liverpool will win this weekend, so don't worry.
I hear.
No, there should be a nice send-off for Salah.
Yeah.
Who has thrown shots again?
Exactly.
He said we should play heavy metal football.
Charlie, that guy. It's glad he's leaving. Well, his age almost catching up. But between the two, who do you think goes down, Kweku?
Who do I think goes down? My heart is for West Ham. I want West Ham to stay. I want Spurs to go down. Why? Because I hate Spurs more. Why do I hate Spurs more? They sacked Mourinho 6 days to a final.
Sorry. Who goes down?
I think no one should pay mind to Kweku because clearly the Oracle has never been on his side. He's lost every prediction he's made.
That's not true, though.
So Spurs, that's not true, though. But majority of years have gone right, too.
Yes. The Oracle says Spurs is staying. And I said from the earlier when they were in this relegation battle, it's not a lot to do with what Spurs have done, but it's mostly to do with what West Ham couldn't do. So I don't see West Ham winning against Leeds. It's going to be a draw, and Spurs probably might also draw.
I think West Ham would win against Leeds. The biggest undoing for West Ham have been that 3-0 loss to Brentford away. I think they should have moved heaven and earth to get at least a draw in that game, which could have put them in good stead going into the final game. I think they would win the final game against Leeds. Leeds have very little to play for. Very, very little to play for. I think they are safe. They are very, very okay, but they have little to play for. Everton, on the other hand, I'm trying so hard.
A draw for Spurs.
I get it. But I'm trying so hard to find reasons why Everton would want to fight and nail Spurs. But I'm not seeing it. What have they done wrong to David Moyes? Which of the players want to show something? I still
Moyes will want to do West Ham a favor.
That's the other piece. I didn't even think.
Are you sure he would want to do West Ham a favor?
No, not do them a favor. He would actually want to nail them and send them down.
That's exactly what I'm
not sure he left on a bad note.
He did leave on a bad note. He granted an interview. No, he was very, very pissed by it. He granted an interview
because he won the Conference League.
Yes, of course. They hadn't won anything. He saved them for relegation, made them a stable Premier League team. He brought in Kudus and the rest. They were doing well, punching above their weight, including beating Arsenal. And all of a sudden, for one season where they lost a couple of games and still were safe in the league, they let him go. And then they asked him, they talk about this. And this was an interview, was a podcast actually. Was it with Gary Neville, if I'm not mistaken? They asked him, he said, listen, they talk about the West Ham way. And he asked himself, what really is the West Ham way? Because he doesn't even know what the West Ham way is. And this nonsense of trying to play certain brand of football, they've tried it several times. They've brought in certain managers to play certain types of Pellegrini. It didn't work. They brought in Julian Lopetegui, who has led them to this nonsense position where they are, because it was Julian Lopetegui who caused all this. Lopetegui caused all this.
Graham Potter.
And then after that, they brought in Graham Potter, who was even worse. Right? All with this fixation of playing a brand of football. Now, maybe one day we'll get into that episode of people forgetting that they have to fight for victory and points and their fixation with how they do it, which is the brand of football that they play.
Well, there's a lot more to talk about, but we're going to delve into that one hopefully next week after everything rounds up. But let me laugh before this one. How do you try to cheat your way back into the Premier League? Who even advised Southampton and Thunder Eket to spy on their opponent? Yeah, sorry.
I just don't get it.
I just don't get it. Look, that is not the first time a team has been caught spying on another team.
Yeah, but in modern day football, when there are so many avenues of analyzing your,
I don't know.
And you even have a time frame. You even have a time frame that not less than 72 hours. So you could have done whatever spying you wanted to do in over the 72 hours.
Look, I don't even know if you remember. You remember? I think when what was his name? Louis van Gaal came to United. He had them plant several trees.
They grew trees to prevent people from spying.
Yeah.
And actually, Leeds United have actually faced punishment during what is his name? The Argentine coach. The Argentine coach who they hailed so much for nothing. I'm blanking out on his name. They hailed him so much for nothing.
I remember the guy you're talking about. Yeah, yes. I've blanked out on his name. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
And I think the punishment is extremely harsh because we've seen it happen, and it wasn't long ago. And that team, I think that was the Leeds one, and they were fined.
They were fined.
They weren't taken out of the playoff. So I think it's a harsh punishment, but I also understand why they would do that, because they want to kind of like essentially disincentivize people from doing it, because the playoff game is £100 and something million game. So if they pay a £2 million fine or they pay a £200,000 fine, every team will think like, yeah, if I'm going to get into the Premier League, the money I'm going to gain is paying a £2 million fine it's a drop in the ocean. So I get why they would try to levy a harsh sentence in order to disincentivize people, but we've seen it happen, and that's not the route you took. So to do it this way is harsh. I think there should have been some precursor to it, like if it's something that you've written in your law and they knew about it and they still went about it that way, then great. But just making an ad hoc decision to say, okay, I want to punish this person specifically to do this, I think it's too harsh, and I think they should review it. And I saw that they had even lost their appeal as well. So
they were always going to lose that appeal. They admitted to it, and I think the rules are very much clear. I don't understand. In this modern era, do you have to go and spy on a team before?
So that was my next thing. Like, you have all the footage from their previous matches. You have analysts.
Leave no stone unturned. We want to see if you are training some new tactics. We want to see if you are doing some new things.
See, even if they are doing new tactics, you know the profile of the players. See, within 10 minutes of the start of the game, you will know exactly what they're doing, because you have analysts also watching the game live.
They don't want to leave it to chance.
They can tell you quickly, listen, they've done this, they've done that. The best way to react is do this, do that. So I think it was very unnecessary. And I don't know whether the intern was actually encouraged to go and do it, or he was just overzealous. I think we should get into
James Bond. Hey, I think he's filled this audition for James Bond.
Intern there in Kafa overzealous.
I was just quite surprised. He decided to go and do that. And he decided he was trying to just run away from it. Went through the golf place and then went into the toilets, went to change, trying to run away. But sorry about that. And I think that some of these people need to be clear. They need to be very much clear in this modern day or era of technology. Why would you go to the evidence? Shows that they've done it to several clubs in the championship, and they admitted to it at the hearing. And the regulation 3.4 says or reads, the EFL regulation 3.4 requires clubs to act towards each other with the utmost good faith, and the regulation 127 prohibits any club from observing or attempting to observe another club's training session within 72 hours of a scheduled game between the two clubs. So whatever you wanted to do, you could have done it before the 72 hours and nobody would have cared. Charlie, yeah, Omunko. So it's now Middlesbrough and Hull City on Saturday. We'll be fighting for a place and a return to the Premier League. Let's move on, and it's one big one, very, very big one. Like Kenson leads Uganda against Ghana's Black Stars. Yesterday, the Black Stars on Wednesday managed to beat one of the strong sides when it comes to under 17 recent years, South Africa, by 3-1. But unfortunately, they missed out on automatic place in the World Cup, and they have also been booted out of the AFCON. Prosper Nateogum and his team are now going to play Lai Kensen for a place at the World Cup because Africa has 10 slots. 8 quarterfinalists are going on. Now they would have to see if Lai Kensen or Ghana, Prosper Nateogum could go through. But before I let you guys come into this, I think, yes, that game will be played, Lai and his issues, but don't we think that CAF needs to move on away from drawing lots when there are disciplinary, you can use discipline and disciplinary moves to get teams off tournament. Yesterday, you know what happened? After everything, the table was Ghana with 4 points, Algeria with 4 points.
Right.
Everything, goals scored, goals, conceded, and the head-to-head between the two teams was 2-0 because we played a 2-0 draw in the first game. Everything was, the same. And then now they had to go to draw lots. And drawing the lots, because Algeria were picked first, they qualified. And Ghana have to now resort to getting into the playoffs and missing out on the quarterfinal. Why don't we move on away from that and get into discipline? There were yellow cards which could have been used to actually make the decision.
Yeah, I think that's more. That's more.
And that was how Senegal exited the 2022 World Cup or.
Yes, I think it was on disciplinary issues. Yeah, I think it was after they beat. I've forgotten. I think it was 2022.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think it was the 2022 World Cup. Yes. It was quite unfortunate. That the draw of lots was taken. I think Ghana have missed out on an AFCON trophy based off of one of these things before.
Yeah, a lot.
Against Zaire or something. Asante Kotoko, same thing. I think there are other measures that can be taken. I think for me personally, it
was actually the 2018 World Cup that they received more yellow cards than Japan. Yes.
Japan, right. 2018 World Cup. Thanks for that clarification. And I think, sport is about competition, and I don't think we need to select winners or champions based off of probability and draw of lots and luck and things like that. Even for the cards, I have my reservations about it. I think it always has to do with competition. For me, if there are teams that are hard to separate, let's have them play each other. That's my opinion. Is it possible that's going to perhaps prolong a tournament or a decision being made? Yes. But I always think that, honestly, sport is competition. Everything has to be based off of competition, not based off of someone's sheer luck or the fact that someone was lucky when, we did a draw of lots. Okay. So that's my only reservation. It's quite unfortunate that Ghana have been, Ghana are in this situation. I feel for the boys a lot because they've actually played well. They've been decent in the tournament. I think the first game, they threw it all away. They were 2 goals up by the first half. And in the second half, I don't know what happened. They capitulated and conceded 2 goals. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did that Algerian boy get that red card after that nasty tackle? In the first game, Ghana-Algeria. You remember in the second half, there was this Algerian guy who made a very nasty tackle on a Ghana player. VAR intervened. And I don't know why that person didn't get the yellow card. The second yellow, or even a straight red, because it was straight starts on the Ghanaian's ankle, right? So I'm not sure how the person didn't get the second yellow or even a straight red card. But unfortunately, we still let it go. I feel very, very sad for the boys. Hopefully, things go in their favor against Uganda. But Lai Kensen also is very.
I mean,
I would say he has a lot of acrimony towards us.
Exactly. The way he mean we,
and
be heavy.
Some of these boys playing under him, Kagawa, for example, played under him. I first heard of Kagawa when Lai Kensen was the 20 was the under 17 coach, right?
And you know, one thing is he gets sad, and he gets sad seeing most of the players, not part of this particular team. And I think it's sad because he's a player who thinks about development. That was how he rose from Ghana's youth side, to play at the very top. So when he sees a team he was building and is being thrown, just away, he even said, when I interviewed him, he was like, no, yes, I understand. I get it. Coaches are hired to be fired, but I want it not to affect these players with too much quality that they could have progressed into, So it's quite sad, but nothing personal. It's just football, and I'm sure Lai will look into our eyes and see what happens. And one funny thing, Prosper Nateo Gomez is instructor for the CAF license A currently.
That's interesting.
So will you beat your teacher?
Will you be will the student be the teacher? Oh my God! It's the boys I feel for, honestly. But yeah,
it's going to be interesting. Yes, yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend. Media Mercy will be crowned champion of the Ghana Premier League. They wanted to.
Congratulations to Tanko. Tanko has done
yeah. They wanted to move the game to Takwa, but unfortunately, House of Folks say no. We are playing it in Accra. That is our home venue. When we won the league, it was presented to us in Sugakope at Wafa. So also come and play at Accra Sports Stadium. But Mediama are going to play a coronation game on Wednesday in Takwa when they play against Basheke Holy Stars at 5 p.m. for it because they want a grand, ceremony to it. I'm sure they could have done it and then had their carnival, but obviously coronation games are much more important in the country. The CAF Champions League final is also here. Yes. Far against Mamelodi Sundowns with a 1-0 lead going into the second leg on Sunday. Are we seeing another trophy for them, or we think that ESFA gets it? Kwaku?
Oh, that's going to be another interesting one. It says Sundowns are going away.
Yes, they won the first leg 1-0.
They won the first leg 1, but you see, going away to North Africa is different.
Morocco.
Going away to Morocco is an entirely different game altogether. I struggle to see how they can hold on to that 1-0 lead because it's too much of a slim margin. And in Africa, a lot of things happen. So honestly, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for them to really hold on to that 1-0 lead, especially going away far. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Honestly. But Mamelodi Sundowns have done well, honestly. That's Patrice Motsepe's team, right?
Yeah.
They've done really, really. He's invested in the team, and they've done really. A lot of things have gone for them as well. But yeah, I think Farabat in Morocco. Listen, I think it's too much of a slim margin. Too much of a slim margin for them.
So you think Far gets this?
I think Far can beat them. I think Far should be able to get 2 goals against them just to win. I think because also if you look at the Far's last couple of games, they haven't been imperious either. They won 2-1 against Raja. They drew 2 games, but found a way to win 3-2 against Hassania, and then they lost 1-0 to Farabat. So it's going to be interesting. I think Far should be able to get 2 goals and win against Mamelodi.
Well, Asari is the Conference League final. Crystal Palace and Spanish club Rayo Vallecano. Who wins this?
Oh, it's Crystal Palace victory.
What makes you think so?
I think it will be a willing, what do you call it? A good send off for what's the manager's name?
Oliver Glasner.
Oliver Glasner. That's Kelvin's coach.
Yeah, Oliver Glasner. It will be a well deserved send off. He's been absolutely exceptional since.
He won it last year, right?
No, he won the.
No, he didn't. It was 2 years ago.
He won the
FA Cup. He won the FA Cup. He won the
Conference League as well before coming with Frankfurt. Yeah, he won it 2 years ago, and then the following season came to England, won the low key. He's gathering trophies.
Yeah.
So he won. He actually won the Europa. It wasn't a.
Was the Europa instead?
Won the Europa. Yes, in 2022.
And they were supposed to get into the Europa League, but because what was the reason why they were pushed down to the Conference League?
Because there was
I think they were reported by Nottingham Forest.
Yes, ownership.
Yeah.
They wanted Nottingham rather to be out of the Europa League so that they replaced them because of ownership, but I think it was quashed. Yeah.
So I mean, he's done so well since he came. They've been very good in the Europa League, and I think he will have something set up for the final. I mean, they had been asking him all week if he was going to field a weakened squad to help Arsenal win the league, and clearly it doesn't matter that he if he fields a weakened squad or not. So I think they are going to be well rested and they will be ready and itching to win the trophy, and then that would be England essentially sweeping the 2 European trophies, waiting on Arsenal to see if they can do the third.
Wow. And I think just to add to Mangana's point, I think whenever the English club meet the second rate, so to say, Spanish club, I think even ahead of the game, there's a high likelihood of the English teams winning just based off the physicality of the English squad, of the English teams. They are so physical, so intense that they beat them, with the physicality alone. And we saw that, last year under Ruben Amorim, when Man United made their way to the Europa League final. Man United were piss poor in the Premier League. We were 15th. But whenever we met the European teams, especially the Spanish teams, we found a way to navigate, and it was quite easy, especially beating Atletico Bilbao.
Home and away.
Home and away. And Atletico Bilbao... Yeah, it was an easy game for us. Bilbao were so good last season in the league. They were so good. Yeah, and we beat them easily. And same thing happened. Chelsea against Real Betis in the final. I told the people close by. I'm like, listen, if we were to play the game in 60 minutes, Betis have a chance. They can win the game in 60 minutes. But so far as the game will travel for 90 minutes plus, Chelsea will beat them. And you realize that Chelsea got the goals after 60 minutes. So the 4-1 doesn't really reflect the entire duration of the game. You watch the first 60 minutes and Betis were very, very good, especially in the first half. I think the same thing will happen. Rayo Vallecano might do well, might control the game, especially in the first half. But all in all, after 90 minutes, they would lose to Crystal Palace.
Well, let's see what happens. And just like that, the whistle has been blown. 90 minutes. Of football is always, crammed into a couple of minutes discussion. Well, it's time for us, to feel sad that we are leaving you, but don't feel very sad because we came, we talked, we probably argued, and somewhere in the middle of all that noise, truth happened. Because Arsenal, seem to have, won back a little bit of their identity, keeping North London red again. Ronaldo standing in the desert, 41 years, and saying to the world, I don't retire, I reload. Say what you want to say about Saudi football, but the man still wins. Thomas Tuchel, still cold. No explanation, no apology. It's simple. You are not in it. Nowhere, brother, nowhere. I am picking my list. And Neymar's hamstring is probably saying no to him. Whether he'll recover, and João Pedro will be smiling back into the team. His time could probably be coming. Unai Emery, 5 Europa Leagues deep, looked at the trophy, looked at the camera and said, absolutely nothing because real ones don't need to speak. And Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham, 2 clubs, 1 trapdoor, and a nation in the world watching with hands in, their ties and also some with that over their eyes to see if anything possible could happen. Football only asks, how many points do you have? Count them carefully and whether you progress or you retrogress. Southampton tried to play chess in a game that only allows football. Despite they got caught, they lost everything. And Middlesbrough got the call like a substitute to warming up. Unexpected, unprepared, but ready. Can Hull City prevent a potential meeting between Michael Carrick and his former side? We will be ready for that. And then closest to our chest and our hearts, Lai Kensen, a son, a legend, standing on the opposite side, eyes forward. He is coming for Ghana, but that's football. Beautiful, but brutal. Nothing personal. It's always important to get the results. And this has been the 50-50 Football Podcast Show, where we just don't watch the game. We live inside it. Your host tonight, Kelvin Oswanta, the voice and the oracle, Nanas Harry Mangana, and the man who never runs out of words, Kokusa Fudidi. 3 microphones, 3 minds, and you are the ultimate one who rounds up everything for us. One love for the game. If this episode hit different, make sure you share it. Send it to a friend who argues football. Like their rent depends on it. Drop a comment, leave a review, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Tell somebody, because good football conversation should never die in your earphones alone. We'll be back. We are always back. Until then, keep the ball moving, keep the conversation alive. And remember, in football as in life, it's always 50-50 until the final whistle. Peace.